All right, what's up, ladies and gents? Welcome back to another live stream. Bear with me here, ladies and gents, as I just get myself started here. All right. How are we all doing today, ladies and gents? Welcome back to another one. I'm probably playing ball throw with Ghost. Not right now. Not right now. How are we all today in this live stream? Let me know what's going on as you are coming in. We're just going to black a little bit here, but we're all good. Let me know. Oh, thank you so much, Kevin. Let me know in the live chat, ladies and gents, how you're doing today. How you're feeling. You feeling bullish? You feeling bearish? What's the deal? Let me know. And we have got a $76,000 Bitcoin today, which is fantastic. And a lot to go through. To be honest, this pump has not been as strong as a lot of people want it to be. So we have an important, honest discussion that we need to have about this in this live stream. If you're excited for the topics that we're going to be covering here today, do me a favor and smash those likes up for this live stream here. We're live yet again as the market was trading. We were live as the votes were being counted. And as it became clear that Trump was going to get elected, we were live for that. We were live for the Bitcoin all-time high. That was amazing. That was really, really cool. So shout out to those of you that have been tuning in, that have been smashing up those likes, double checking that you got the bell icon checked, that you've been, really tuning into these streams. You've been getting some really good content, some very highly accurate tradable content as well, which I think is really, really fun. Volume is a bit quiet from Vlad. Yeah, that is going to be a point of concern for a few people today. There are some real concerns here, kind of simmering. They're underneath. People aren't talking about them too much. We're going to talk about them pretty openly today, and we're going to really kind of get down to the root of it. So as we are just kicking this off, do me a favor and smash up those likes if you haven't done so already. And also tell me how you feel. Are you feeling bullish or are you feeling bearish? And tell me where in the world you're viewing this from. As usual, I'd love to know where you guys are as we kick these streams off, because it's so cool to me. We could be sitting in my living room, in your living room, whatever, just having a conversation. We could be sitting in a nice cigar lounge, in a shisha lounge, in a cafe, whatever the deal is. But then if we're doing that, I can only talk to one of you. But here you got real humans all over the world, all listening to something at the same time. That's cool. So we got Helsinki, audio too low from Andre. Can we get some audio checks here in the comment section? You guys happy with the audio level, or do we need to start turning something up? We got Ohio, Stockholm, Sweden. Volume up on my microphone. Okay. Well, I'm redlining now. I don't know if this is what you guys want. But hopefully that works out. Got Norway, London, Philly. Having lunch at work and watching Sammy Cheers from Vegas. What's up, Vegas? That worked. All right, you guys are happy with the volume. Very good. We got Belgium. Sorry about that. You got Kenya, Nigeria, Pakistan. I'm from Philly, but currently in South Korea. That's very cool. Perfect. My ears are bleeding. Yeah, this is too loud. I'm gonna turn it down a little bit. I can't hear what you guys are hearing, but I don't believe that this is a good volume. That wouldn't really make sense. Just bear with me here. I've been listening to a lot of YMCA lately, ladies and gents. I don't know if you're familiar with YMCA. It's kind of the victory song right now, isn't it? If we head on over to some of my shit posts right here. Good morning, Americans. Go play YMCA while driving through a Democrat neighborhood today. We got that signature Trump dance. That's been blasting through my car today. London for now, yeah. Ewan's off to Dubai. Ain't nobody staying in London these days, bro. Here we go. Let's kick this thing off. Smash up those likes one more time if you haven't done so already. And we've got some phenomenal price action here. There are the concerns that a lot of people rightly have that this market just hasn't shown enough strength above its all-time high. Obviously, the all-time high was this orange line right here. And we're above the all-time high, but we're not substantially above it. In terms of percent, we're only 3.7% above. And I think the reason that that's concerning, there's two big reasons that that's concerning for Bitcoin right now. The first key reason that that's going to be concerning a few people is I've still got YMCA playing in my AirPods. This is hilarious. I think the reason that this is going to be a big deal, the fact that we haven't got such a big breakout now, it's going to be two reasons. The first one is that we got arguably one of the best fundamental developments for Bitcoin potentially ever. David said, I knew you were too smart to be a Harris supporter. Yeah, supporting Harris, it's a different thing. It's not a smart or stupid thing. I mean, it's typically it's gonna correlate with that, but it's more of a poverty thing, voting for Harris, you know, if you want free shit. Or if you're just fucking stupid, yeah, and you're just changing your gender every 2 minutes. And we got no filter these days, ladies and gents. No filter. You're gonna get the real Sammy these days. This is how it's gonna be. If you don't like it, you can leave. But the reason it's important is that Trump win is a big deal for crypto. That Trump win is a big deal for crypto. It's a big deal for speculative markets. And you've got Elon Musk. You've got a ton of crypto-friendly representatives that have been elected. It is quite real now for Bitcoin and for crypto. And so we get a really nice big fundamental change. Now, that's the first reason I think this is concerning, is because, well, you're only up 3.7%, and it's been over a day since the election results have kind of been clear. And we're still not more than 4% above the all-time high. And so that's going to be rightfully, you know, concerning to a lot of people, given the fact that, you know, this is such a big deal that Trump was elected for crypto. But my answer to that, and by the way, I was just watching Donald's stream, Technical Roundup. If you guys watch my channel and you like my stuff, this guy is significantly better than me. His show, you can search this up on YouTube. Like, this guy's show is what I would aim to be. So if you like my shit, you should watch him. Him and Crypto Cred. Cred is British. Great orator. He speaks very, very well. They're much better than I am. If you like this channel, you're gonna like theirs a lot more, so go check that out. I watch them myself every chance that I get. And one of the things he very rightfully pointed out is that this Trump win was pretty much priced in. I wouldn't say fully priced in, but it was priced in to some extent before the election results fully came in, because there were some good reasons to expect a Trump victory, and we had a lot of those, you know, warning signs that we expect. Really, the only reason that people were worried maybe Trump wouldn't win was if the Dems cheated. We don't really know what happened there, because it seems weird that it didn't really happen this time. You know, in terms of cheating, but because of that, it looked very obvious that Trump was going to win. And actually, we've seen, you know, betting markets like Polymarket being substantially better at predicting everything than any expert or poll or news agency was. The betting markets were substantially better. And so in the same sense, crypto was essentially trading in the direction of a Trump win. And so a lot of the price explosion that you'd want to get, I think, has probably already happened. I think that's debunking reason number one. But reason number two, and this one's more compelling to me, although the first one's very compelling, is the technical setup. Because the facts here in this market right now, and as we are going along, ladies and gents, do me a favor and smash up those likes. I want to get this thing above 100 likes at least for this live stream here. If you are enjoying it so far, do me a favor and show this live stream a little bit of support. You know, we set this all-time high back in the middle of March, and then we only got the breakout at the beginning of November. That's 237 days, which, by the way, makes this a longer correction period than what we had last year, which lasted 7 months. This was nearly 8 months now, only 3 days shy of being 8 months long. So very, very, you know, long consolidation corrective price action here. You know, and that to me is the bigger reason for breaking out with some strength. It's the fact that actually Bitcoin has been correcting for so long. And if we look at what happened last time, this is a very valid way of kind of proving to you what I mean. Bitcoin, compared to where it was before, you know, right now it's essentially kind of like right here. But instead of doing this, Bitcoin is almost kind of doing something a little bit more. I gotta get the right tool. Bitcoin's almost kind of just doing something that looks a little bit more like this, you know? Like it's just going sideways now instead of continuing the move up, or it's going up, but it's going up slowly, right? And the reason that I'm pointing this out as kind of being out of character is the fact that, you know, when we get these big breakouts, usually you want to see a lot of strength, okay? And if you're not able to produce that strength, it's going to be a really bad sign that things could start tipping the other way. And right now, and the reason we're talking about this on this live stream, right, instead of another bullish live stream where I'm telling you that everything's perfect, things are indeed changing. Factors always change as time goes on. And I'm still incredibly bullish, by the way. I mean, let me not, you know, let's not make any mistake about that. There's no doubt in my mind that this is such an incredibly bullish market right now. And I don't think that's going to change. And I think that if, you know, we're going to start talking about the possibility of a pullback, but I think that if that did happen, I think Bitcoin would have such an easy chance at recovering from it. Obviously, it could take some time. It might not necessarily be quick, but I do think it's close to a certainty, as close as you can reasonably get, you know, at this stage in the market, you know, pending, you know, some other big crazy shit happening, like some sort of depression or big crash or EMP. You know, you can't really do anything in those cases. But I think Bitcoin is going to do very, very well. But at the same time, you know, I think that there are some, you know, very, very valid concerns here. Still very bullish, still very long. I haven't done anything with my long positions. I'm in the most profit I've ever made in my entire life in terms of percent. I can't get you the exact number right now. Let's see if I can pull it up. Hang on. I don't know if I'm going to be able to, but we're going to give it a try because that's been going very, very well. Obviously, I've been trading these markets on the exchanges linked in the description below if you want to trade on the same places. Bybit's going to be kind of my main home. Blowfin is a great alternative, and they've got very aggressive bonuses. In fact, they've just launched, or they're about to launch, a new kind of campaign, which is super exciting. I can't find the link. Here it is. Where you got 4 days left here for $1 million prize pool, the War of Whales, they're calling it. So obviously they're a very cringe name, but the point is that there's free money up for grabs, and there's nothing that you have to do really to get these prizes. All you've got to do is just trade, and it's going to be across a time period. So if your trading volume reaches substantial enough figures, you've got huge amounts of cash that they're going to be giving you based on your trading volume there. So really, really cool stuff. Well worth checking out if you're interested. And as always, only if you're not from a restricted region. Okay, if you are from a restricted region, then you won't be able to use any of these platforms according to your law. Sorry guys, I'm still under the weather. It's been really annoying, but we're still showing up. We're still showing up. But you know, like I said, for the price here, you would want to see a more substantial breakout. You would want to see that breakout coming in pretty quickly. We've already seen what happened last year, and I mean, this is on the 4-hour time frame, yeah? So it's just a really, really quick move up. We're talking about, you know, it wraps up within a day or two. It's now been, you know, nearly 2 days since that election result became clear, and we're not, you know, we're just not moving up with the same vigor. So, look, overall, so far, this is still fine. Let's pump those likes above 100, ladies and gents. We're so close now. We're so close to getting this thing above 100. You know, overall, I think that we're still good. You know, I wouldn't really worry about what I'm seeing. You know, I think that, you know, even though it's been a little bit slow, it's still, one sec, guys. It's still been pretty decent. We've still been setting higher highs. We've still been punching in higher lows. If we visualize this on a smaller time frame, it's okay, right? I mean, it would be worse if, let's say, Bitcoin set this high, but then we didn't surpass it. Or if Bitcoin set this high, but then we didn't surpass it. But from all of these angles, we're looking pretty good right now. And I think that there's going to be a decent chance that Bitcoin can really set some substantial new all-time highs. We got Allison in the live chat saying that we've just hit all-time high again, and that's absolutely correct. So we're going to see how that continues to go for Bitcoin here. Who knows? We could be live for a lot of the big price action that's yet to come. So let's see how this goes. Let me know how high you guys think we're going to be seeing Bitcoin throughout the course of today before this candle close on the daily. When does this daily candle close? In about 4 hours here on UTC time zone. Let me know what you guys think we're going to be getting toward the end of the day. We got Chaos here saying that we're going to be seeing an $80,000 Bitcoin. Allison's calling for, she's saying that she's hopeful for a short squeeze. This is the thing. Oh, there we go. We've popped. Look at that. There's the pop, $77,000. Yeah, we're $50 away from 77K. And this is the thing. People are still waiting for 56. Dude, people are still waiting for 12K. You know, that's very normal. We've seen this before a million times. You know, I don't think they're gonna get it. They might. Who knows? They might. But I think it would be so unlikely now. But you know, on the note of a short squeeze, Allison, this is actually something I wanted to go over because, you know, the point of this live stream is to say that, look, it's still good. I mean, we're literally setting an all-time high right now as we speak. We're on the minute time frame, so we're still doing good. But the facts which we need to be mindful of are really going to be, you know, it's going to be painful if you don't keep them in mind. And it might not be painful now, it might take a while, but factors that are present in the market, they will always surface. These factors will always surface. They might not surface immediately, but they will. And the biggest factor that I think is concerning for Bitcoin right now is the fact that, like I said, you know, if everybody kind of, or if a lot of people were pricing in this move, then that would actually suggest that a lot of longs have come in, right? A lot of people are long on crypto right now. And more than that, we've also got, timer just went off there. More than that, instead of worrying about, you know, a lot of people, you know, already being long because of the Trump win, we just kind of knew that everybody was overwhelmingly long for a really long time, right? I mean, we've seen the data extensively on this YouTube channel. Those of you that are subscribed, you're going to be very familiar with what I'm talking about. You've seen it all on this very YouTube channel when it comes to that data. And here we are, you know. I mean, I just don't think that there are, you know, there's clearly more of a potential for a long squeeze right now than a short squeeze. And that's just a factor which is present, right? It doesn't, and this is the most important thing, is it doesn't have to be a factor which, you know, moves the market. It doesn't have to be a factor which exerts some influence on the market, but it is a factor, and you know, sooner or later it will eventually surface. And the problem with these kind of things is that the longer they take to surface, the more longs there are in the market, and the more longs there are, the bigger that subsequent long squeeze is going to be. And now, you know, we're sitting at $77,000 right now, making another attempt at that level. We're so close, just $20, $30, $40 away from 77K. On Binance, people are 60% short. So, look, there's a lot of different markets where you can see if people are short or not. There's probably over 100, so I don't know if you're looking at the right market. And then even if you are looking at the right market, there's different time frames. And I'm not worried about, you know, short orders that have been submitted today, or even in the last few days, or even in the last few weeks. The longs that I'm talking about that can get squeezed have been open for a very, very long time. And the concern here is that if Bitcoin gets to, let's say, right here, 77K, and then it starts kind of dipping back down again, the concern is, and this could, you know, this could get very quick. Is that if Bitcoin, you know, drops below some significant levels, you know, as a result of a long squeeze, it's going to get bad. It's going to get really bad, and potentially this entire bull market could be over. So we're speaking, you know, relatively vaguely there, but let me color that in for you. We're just going to step away from this minute chart on Bitcoin, and let me break down for you what that means. The point right now is that, you know, look, given that Bitcoin's quite elevated right now, if a long squeeze did come in, it's probably going to be, you know, quite intense. And we've had, you know, very intense long squeezes throughout this market cycle so far. I mean, take a look at this one. This one's huge. This is kind of like, you know, I mean, look, this is 30% within 6 days. This reminds me of the dump that happened in 2020 in March when Bitcoin went from 10K down to 3.8. Obviously, it's not that strong, but the price action itself looks the same. And you can, I'm going to show you that here. Take a look. You know, when we got that coronavirus market crash, look, it was the same shit, same chart pattern that we saw just recently a couple of months ago. You know, so very aggressive sell-offs, you know, very aggressive long squeezes that we've been seeing. Look at it. It's the same damn chart, this drop. It's the same thing. And so, you know, when these long squeezes come in, they are a little bit merciless. You know, they're not light. And the reason that that's important is our, you know, previous all-time high, which now, you know, hopefully is going to be serving as support for Bitcoin. That's only 4% away. Okay, and that's definitely going to be something concerning for people in this market, because we know that a long squeeze is usually going to be quite substantially larger than 4%. A long squeeze is usually going to take the market down by a lot more than 4%. And so the next kind of key level that Bitcoin has, and this is a really good level, is 71K. And again, this is just the same as Donald was saying. This is kind of his level of invalidation. Of course, it's the same for me for all of the reasons that we've been discussing extensively on this YouTube channel. Those of you that have been subscribed are going to know all about that. Thanks for smashing us above 100 likes, by the way. Let's push this thing to the next target. Go for 150, 200 likes. We've got 400 viewers in the house. How you guys doing? Let me know what's going on in your world today, where you're viewing from today, and how you're feeling about the markets. You feeling bullish, bearish? How high you think we're going in the next 3.5 hours before this daily close? Are we going to get above 77K? That's the big question. Let me know in the live chat. Good to see you guys here. Thank you all for tuning in. Previous all-time high as a potential support zone. I don't think it's going to be great support, so I'm much more interested in the support down here at 71K, which has been very, very well developed. So I think that that's kind of, you know, the lowest level that I could reasonably tolerate Bitcoin getting down to right now and staying very bullish. To be honest, actually, I'm talking out of my ass. Another really good level is 67K. The thing is that we already tested it after we already hit the all-time high. So it's not as good now to come back down. You know, we already kind of got that test, and it looks like we are still maintaining a general structure of higher lows. So we don't really want to upset that by kind of coming back down all the way there. Is it going to be a bad thing if we do? I mean, not really. I don't think so. But it's definitely not going to be good. I would say that. Well, it could be good, but I don't think it's mega likely to be good. I think much better it would just be if Bitcoin, you know, maximum, if it drops, if it just drops down to 71K, I'm okay with that. And again, the reason I think that all of this stuff is really important, ladies and gents, is that, you know, we have had lackluster follow through since the all-time high has been smashed. And by the way, that's constantly been happening. The last times that Bitcoin has broken its all-time highs have all gone like this, like the last 5 times in a row. So obviously there's this time that we're in right now, there's this situation right here, and then look at this. Because this all-time high, you know, we only got slightly above it, basically a fake out, and then we continue trending back down. On this occasion here, the all-time high was punched in at about 66, and then you get ever so slightly higher. And it's the same thing, right? I mean, you know, if you look at it across the board, going back to 2021, punching an all-time high over here, next all-time high is slightly higher. Next all-time high is slightly higher. And again, and again, and again, and fucking again. We just can't get away from it, right? And so this is going to be a reason that's really rightfully going to be making some people skeptical about these markets. And what we've got to keep in mind is that you're going to get paid the best, you're going to get paid the most if you take advantage of these things, you know, at the market peaks, right? Like when it is the scariest. And with all of that in mind, clearly, you know, there's a little bit of work to do before we can start saying that this is a great substantial break of the all-time high. I just think that it's a little bit too premature to start making you know, claims like that. And again, I think that's why it's also a concerning place if you're a bull, because of support. Because support is just too fucking close right now. We just, you know, the problem that we're experiencing now, because we've had lackluster performance after breaking the all-time high, is that we also haven't created enough distance between support and current price. And that means that it's just too easy to overshoot it right now. It's a 6.7% drop. If it gets bigger than that, you're already starting to get into territory that's kind of shit. 12%, very, very reasonable drop, right, for a correction. But that would put Bitcoin down at 67K. Anything lower than that, and we start to get into territory where I think it's going to be a little bit more difficult for the market to recover. So we've just got to keep an eye on it. It's still not bearish. It's still not concerning. But it's, you know, here's the best way to put it. One of the big things I've been saying on this YouTube channel for a long time before we got the breakout is that I said to you, look, I don't know what's going to happen, But so far, we've followed every single step the best way we possibly could have. In other words, so far, I don't know what's going to happen, but so far, we've done everything perfectly if we're on the way to break our all-time high, right? That's the big thing that you guys have heard me saying constantly on this YouTube channel. And it's important, right? I'm choosing these words very carefully because, you know, they have meaning. They have a lot of meaning. And clearly that's not happening right now, right? Previously, we were maxing everything out. We were making the best decisions. We were making the best next moves possible for Bitcoin every single time in terms of really nice, healthy corrections and the movements upwards and so on and so forth. This time, it's a little bit worse. That's the point. And that doesn't, again, it doesn't have to be a problem. We got Alan Armstrong in the chat saying that we're all going to be fine. And I completely agree with you. This is not to the point where it's a concern that I'm going to do anything about it. And I mean, even if we were going to drop, I wouldn't do anything about it other than, you know, maybe buy some coins or something. And obviously, like I said, huge opportunities with these links down below if you do want to start trading, because Bybit is going to give you up to $30,000 in completely free trading capital, which is absolutely sick. Blowfin, also linked below, is even more aggressive with their bonuses. They're giving even more, which is super, super cool. So if you like the sound of that, then it's definitely worth checking them out. And of course, I just want to see if I can pull up my... my P&L, because I'm still in that same trade on Bitcoin and on Tron, which are both doing very, very well. Let me just take a look at where Tron is at the moment. Yeah, Tron is still sitting at 16 cents. It's actually very calm and stable up there, which is very, very nice to see indeed. And so yeah, I think that you know, we're still in a very good, but we haven't actually done the bad stuff yet. I think that's a big part of the of the point that I'm making. Obviously, I mentioned to you that this kind of rough curved line is going to be the invalidation for the S&P 500. If the S&P 500 can get above this line, that's where it becomes bullish. Oh, I mean, it's already bullish, but that's where it becomes kind of, you know, like very aggressive, attacking all-time high type territory. So we'll just kind of have to continue to see this to watch how it plays out. But so far, definitely, I think clearly doing quite well for the S&P 500. And obviously, this was a very immediate reaction to the Trump election as well. So no surprises there that we're seeing, you know, bullish indices here. And this is across the board. You know, we're seeing green with Germany's DAX. It's not too green, but there's a little bit. You know, UK's FTSE 100 is doing all right. So there's mixed results, but it's looking pretty good. Here's that Bitcoin trade that I was talking to you guys about. I'm glad I was able to pull this up because was having some connection issues. But take a look at this right here. That's going to be the Bitcoin trade, which you can pause the live stream. But this is at 2,500% profit. Now we just keep on stacking, ladies and gents. That's all we're doing here. Obviously, it's a real, you know, I can press buttons and stuff. And yeah, so that is representing now a very nice $40,000 profit. I put in about 100K. So that's really nice. My Tron position is still above 1,000%, which is absolutely beautiful. And that I've also more than doubled my money on. The Bitcoin trade I've more than tripled my money on. The Tron trade I've more than doubled it. So that's really good. And again, that's all going to be done right there on Bybit at the top of the description. So it's like I said, when you start trading, that's when you're going to get this free cash in your account. Super cool stuff. Check it out if you're not from a restricted region. But yeah, S&P 500 looking really good, and I think that's going to potentially carry Bitcoin higher. The dollar has retraced a little bit, and it's kind of back into this range now. I still think that, you know, the dollar is probably going to be moving higher given that Trump has been elected. But, I mean, the fact that it's retraced down, I don't really know why. I don't really think it matters either. It looks like Bitcoin's largely moving independent of the dollar for now. We're still going to be watching the dollar. I'm still going to be paying very close attention to what the dollar does because I do think it's very important. But also worth noting that this is going to be more of a general longer term trend type thing to be watching. It's not I don't know what the fuck it is. I don't know what copy, but it's also not and I'm losing my train of thought while all this happens too. What are my opinions on DOT? We'll take a look at alts in just a second. It's just not something that you're going to be looking at on a short time frame, right? I mean, I'm more interested in a kind of general, like, put it this way: if the dollar ends up doing something bigger like this, either upwards or downwards, that's going to be what I think will have quite a big effect on Bitcoin. But this kind of more short term stuff, Bitcoin just doesn't seem to care too much right now. So that's definitely, I would say that's good news. I wouldn't say that that's bad. So yeah, there you go. Russia just said that they will not abandon the dollar. Well, that's very interesting. Everybody is behaving now when Trump's coming back in and they want to get back on the dollar. Chaos is saying, I think that there is something to consider that has me quite on edge. MMs, market makers in crypto cannot allow everyone to win, otherwise they would go bankrupt. But how will they play against TradFi now? Well, I mean, it's very possible for... Look, the problem that you've just described has existed in every single bull market before. And people still made money, and more importantly, a lot of people didn't make money, because in bull markets a lot of people still buy too high and they still sell too low. So I wouldn't read into it too much. I think you're diving into the theory of things a little bit too. I mean, what am I to say? I mean, I can't tell you if you're doing something too much or too little, but me personally, I don't look at stuff like that to that level. I just don't really think that it's useful. So I'm not personally worried about stuff like that. We got Texas in the house, a couple viewers from Texas today. That's very, very cool. No point in talking about lower prices while we're bullish. Well, I would disagree with you, man. I think that actually, you should be talking about both at all times, because, the market can move down and the market can move up. And actually, a big thing that I think is really important, and a lot of people, most people are not going to see this, but you will understand it after I speak in a few minutes, is that it's actually going to be very easy to make money if Bitcoin starts dropping now. I believe. And the reason I'm saying that is because, well, first of all, we've got, a nice amount of increased liquidity. So price action is just more realistic now. But a big part of it is, it's very easy to say where things start getting shit, right? I mean, if you lose this support level, things start getting a little bit shit. You lose this support level, things are quite a bit more shit. And you lose 60K and it's over. And so you've got, some really obvious kind of levels where, resistance, short orders can start being lined up, right? A lot of people like placing their short orders at resistance, which is very understandable. So, the downside is actually very profitable as a trader. And of course, yeah, the upside is great too, but there's a lot less we can say about that, because we haven't, we're just not continuing right now. I mean, obviously, if we do continue, so far, it has been, like I said, lackluster performance. And it has been every single time that Bitcoin set an all-time high since it reached 60K for the first time ever 4 years ago in 2021. But just over here, if we start to kind of understand, the distance that Bitcoin has been able to produce from its all-time highs, we're not looking at much. From this all-time high to the next one, Bitcoin got $1,100 higher, and to the next one after that, it got $400 higher. These all-time highs are shit. They're just not good. They're not moving very well right now. So, we need to get out of this. The other big thing that I did want to say, though, is that I'm not worried about this also for another reason, which is that I just think that this market is taking a little bit of time. Another big thing that Donald mentioned, which I completely agree with, is that this market is just more mature now. We need to do something as a bit of a thought experiment here to kind of show you exactly what this means, because I think a lot of people just completely lose perspective on these things. But I won't let you do that. We're here in this live stream today, and Bitcoin's market cap sits at $1.5 trillion, which puts Bitcoin above Meta. It puts Bitcoin above Berkshire Hathaway, puts Bitcoin above Walmart, Visa, JP Morgan, and it also, most importantly, puts Bitcoin just 10 times behind gold. It only needs a 10 times move, and it's basically going to catch up to gold. A 12 times increase from here will put Bitcoin and gold equal to each other in terms of total market cap. That means the value of the market altogether. And that is such a big deal Because when you look at it with realistic fucking numbers, instead of, being a little fucking Dogecoin degenerate and, expecting Bitcoin to move the same. And by the way, ladies and gents, if you're finding this live stream useful so far, do me a favor and smash up those likes. Thank you all for tuning in so far. I do appreciate it. Double check, of course, that you are subscribed. And yeah, I mean, if you're just a fucking meme coin degenerate, then yeah, 100%, you're not really going to understand these concepts. But if Bitcoin is only, if Bitcoin is only a 10x away from being basically equivalent to gold, then yeah, you're going to expect price action that reflects a more mature market. And I think this is something that people really just can't wrap their head around because they don't even try, right? I mean, to them, it's just log on CoinMarketCap and see what idiot is talking about what altcoin on Discord and buy something. And obviously, if you take that kind of attitude, you're going to be very unhappy with a channel like this because we're realistic and we actually do fucking make money here. But most importantly, we're just understanding basic numbers here. We're having a basic level of perspective here that tells us that if Bitcoin's market cap is this high, and if it's this far deep into being such a mature asset, compare it to everything else on your screen right now, you got Bitcoin just slightly behind big companies like Amazon. It's only $700 million away in market cap, and that doesn't actually represent a particularly big pump from here. Bitcoin at about $110,000 would be worth probably more than Amazon. And the reason that or around the same, and the reason that that's such a big deal, ladies and gents, is that 100K for Bitcoin or 110K for Bitcoin, to me, looks like a damn near certainty. Yeah, it looks so obvious now, and it has done for a very long time, that Bitcoin is going to be reaching $110,000. And if that does happen, we're just going to see Bitcoin's market cap continue to get into very, very high, crazy levels. And I think the reason that all of that is so important is because, when a market becomes this mature, when it becomes this big, it just doesn't move as aggressively as people want it to. And yet, the beautiful thing about Bitcoin is that even though Bitcoin needs to, I don't think it's a big deal. I don't think it's a big deal for Bitcoin to get up to 110K. And I think most people don't either, which maybe is a point of concern. But, I think the reason that this is so important, can I explain a depth chart? I don't know exactly what you're talking about. I think it's time to blow my nose. I can't. That's the thing. It's so frustrating. I'm just going to have to, I'm just going to have to sign off the live stream early, I think. But no, the reason that I think this is all such a big deal is that, even though, markets do typically mature when they get to this level, still Bitcoin is very aggressive. Bitcoin is still very aggressive, even considering all of those facts that we were just talking about, a more mature and a more slow and a less explosive market. Despite all of that, Bitcoin still retains a lot of its aggression. It's just not as aggressive as it was before. And this is a really, really important point because we need to understand that we're not expecting, Dogecoin levels of volatility anymore, or Memecoin generally levels of volatility anymore from Bitcoin, but we're also not expecting, gold level of inactivity either. We're expecting Bitcoin to be a little bit more in the middle, where Bitcoin still moves very aggressively, but sometimes it just takes some time to kick that stuff off. I want to remind you, and I don't know how easy it's going to be, but I want to remind you about what was happening with Bitcoin back in February of 2024, where basically for most of that month, for March as well, Bitcoin was trending up very, very aggressively, and it was just like the thing that was happening, right? The only thing that we were used to was aggressive uptrends for Bitcoin for a nice portion of 2023 and 2024. I mean, it wasn't that bad. This was 52 days non-stop of pumping up, followed directly by 52 further days of non-stop pumping up. So, we're talking about 100 days with a little 30-day gap in between where we consolidate, and that's a third of the year that Bitcoin was just straight trending up. So it does happen. It just takes a little bit longer. We got to consider this, and we're looking at real numbers here. That's the reason that this analysis is making so much sense to all of us right now. We got to imagine what this means for Bitcoin in practice, okay? In practice, during this current bull cycle, in terms of actively trending up, we've had 36 days here, plus 14 days here. I'm not going to count this, so we're at 50 days. And we've had you know, what is this? There's a few different ways you can call this, but again, you know, we're at, again, you know, 100 days now and 150 days, right? Out of this kind of market cycle so far, it's been 150 days plus this where we've been trending up, right? So it's nice, right? I mean, it's not nothing, but it's not huge. And if we compare it to 2017, the difference here is enormous. I mean, you know, just from kind of where this bull market really started to heat up, which was probably, you know, somewhere around here, very beginning of 2017. Here, you're just trending up straight for 50 days. And then here, for 75 days, you're already at 125 days. Now, we're trending up for 170 days. Now, we're trending up for 260 days. And so out of, you know, 365 days in a year, you know, Bitcoin was trending for most of that, and by a very large margin. I mean, here's the beginning of 2017, here's the end of 2017, and most of that time was spent in an uptrend. And this is the point that I'm making, is that now Bitcoin moves differently. Now we're seeing shorter bursts of upward price action, still very intense, but not as intense as before. But there are long periods of shit in between those uptrends. So this is just the way that it is right now. It's the way that it has been for a while. I believe that it's the way that it's going to continue to be. However, I don't think it's going to stay like this forever. I think that this is going to change, and I think that it's going to change a lot. I think that when Bitcoin's dominance starts topping out, when Bitcoin's bull phase right now starts reaching some later kind of maturity stages where Bitcoin is ready to start cooling off and consolidating and just kind of generally just calming down a little bit, that's when I think things could get really interesting in the altcoin market. And we're seeing such a ridiculously high Bitcoin dominance level right now, exceeding my expectations again, which is absolutely amazing because it means that you guys watching this channel have got, you know, just continue to get 100% correct, accurate analysis across every single market we touch here, which is sick. Smash up the likes for that if you do appreciate it. Let's get this thing above 200 likes. We've just passed above 150 here, so thank you for the love. And you know, if Bitcoin's dominance is able to get higher, I just think that the subsequent fall, which I'm also expecting, is going to be so gargantuan in terms of dollars that, you know, all of the gains that anybody could want will be, you know, just a fraction of a percent of what the market will actually give. You know, in other words, I think that the market is going to give so much more than what we're expecting right now. I really do think it's going to be such a big deal, and I've been feeling that for a long time. And, you know, again, so with all of that in mind, you know, if Bitcoin's dominance starts kind of reversing, I think that's where a lot of those opportunities are going to be. I just don't think it's time yet. You know, I mean, Ethereum against Bitcoin has just continued to do absolutely horribly. We are seeing a move up for altcoins today, which is nice, but it's almost too little and too late. So we're going to have to see how this continues to kind of play out for Bitcoin here. But, yeah, I mean, sorry. For altcoins, but you know, Ethereum is still looking really weak. It's made it from, you know, this box down to this box. It's made it to the bottom of this range, which is crazy in and of itself, and it still looks like it's headed down to the bottom. And in fact, it looks like it's potentially even going lower. You know, and so we're getting a lot of weakness here, and I don't think it's the time to start jumping into these coins yet. I think kind of as a rule or as good kind of practice, it might be a good idea to start buying some of these altcoins now just because they're so cheap, especially against Bitcoin. But I just think they're going to get so much cheaper. I think that they're still going to get cheaper. And that's where the real big money, I think, is going to be made. I really think that whatever we're seeing with Bitcoin is just going to be change compared to what these altcoin markets are going to be giving. And so we've just got to kind of let them do their thing. We got to let these markets just kind of play out and do what they need to do. You know, and then I'm sure it's going to kind of pull through. So let me just get Solana back on here, because apparently, I don't even remember doing it, but apparently I went ahead and removed Solana from my watch list. So let's just put that back in here. And take a look. Wow, look at that. It's at $195, which is amazing. Yeah, very, very good stuff here. It is now kind of at the top of its range, continuing to move toward that breakout. I think one of the best things that Solana could do now, and I would actually love to see this, and I'm sorry, I'm not showing you the chart. I would love to see this, and I also think that, you know, most importantly, was there something I was meant to show you? I don't think I was meant to show you anything, but yeah, we were talking about Ethereum a little bit, so I guess I just didn't show you the Ethereum chart, but it doesn't really matter. You know, back to Solana here. Let me bring Solana back on. Where's Solana? I've lost it again. It's up here. Let me just move it up to the top. $200, really nice price level here. Obviously, Solana's been kind of in a descending triangle for a little bit, and it's now broken out. And the reason that that's particularly interesting to me is kind of depending on how you look at this, there is going to, highly likely, I think, there is going to be a really nice back test of some of these support levels where, some really nice buys could start becoming possible. So I'm going to be very interested in that. I think that this yellow box here is kind of where a lot of this gets interesting, and that's sitting at about $172 there. So again, really well worth checking out those links if you want to get some free cash to kind of trade with, and throw it into any of the markets that you're liking. Obviously, you just got to make sure that you're allowed to, that you're not in a restricted region. But yeah, you are going to get those bonuses when you start trading using these links below, which is sick. But if we kind of keep it locked to this chart, I think that, you got some really nice kind of back test potential here for this thing to blow off. And then, all-time highs, I think, are very nearby. I think it's obviously going to be getting substantially higher than its all-time highs. We got a couple of requests for Uni earlier in this live stream, so let's take a look at Uniswap here. Uniswap is looking particularly interesting to me because it looks tradable compared to other coins. I won't talk about it too much right now, but support is basically kind of up here, down here, I should say, at about $8.20, so that looks interesting. This whole range is really big support for Uni, so, as long as Uni doesn't kind of fall below $6, I think it's good. And then in terms of upside, it does have resistance kind of scattered everywhere, but it does look like Uniswap's key level of resistance is going to be up here at about $14. So I'm just going to ahead and mark that here. We're going to be using some more normal lines from now on, so we go back to the yellow lines. And I think that's going to be kind of one of the more important resistance levels for Uni right now. Ladies and gents, if we've got any other questions, queries, anything at all that you want me to go through, then now is the time. But otherwise, I've got my sushi here, and I'm going to be digging into a little bit of food. So I'll be heading off here in just a moment. It's been a really good live stream. Thank you all for tuning in. Let's push this thing up above 200 likes if we can get there. I also just can't keep going because I've just got this really annoying little sickness here that I'm dealing with. We got a quick request for Pepe. And it is, again, looking pretty decent. It's got a little bit of resistance kind of right here at like 1,000 or 10,000, whatever you call this, 11,000. But yeah, I think, it's hard to say, but, if this thing wants to kind of, because it looks like it is trying to pop, if it really wants to pop, then it could start flying. I think Doge has already seen, a lot of excitement getting very high here, breaking a lot of its key resistance levels. So we'll see how Doge is actually going to be an interesting one, because if Elon Musk does indeed create the Doge government department, then Doge itself might see some really nice upward price action. So we'll see how that goes. What are my thoughts on sushi? I don't know anything about sushi and the other coins that you guys are asking for. The one, if I'm annoying your coin, it's because I don't know about it. Obviously, we've just looked at Solana, so you can just rewind if you're tuning in late. And yeah, I think we're pretty much rounded off for today's live stream. Oh yeah, by the way, look at Tesla. I made such bullish analysis on Tesla on Twitter. You guys can find it here. By the way, just shit posts on Twitter. That's what it's all about. And we really are, removing the filter, and getting very real. Saying the quiet part out loud. Everybody's saying it now. Everybody's on board. And for me, the Trump win was a really big shift where I started feeling like, all right, it's time to start getting a little bit louder, because common sense is clearly making a return. But yeah, things are quite funny right now. If you watch what the liberals have been up to in the recent days. So if you want to follow me on Twitter, if you like the idea of seeing some more shit posts, some more exclusive analysis, because the Tesla analysis did go on Twitter only, then you can follow me there. That has worked out incredibly well. Since I made the video, it's so much higher now. Let's actually go ahead and check where Tesla was when I made the video about it, which would have been this video or this one. It was this video. And Tesla was trading at $207. So it's actually gone ahead and moved up by 50% since I went ahead and made that video. which is an enormous profit. It is an enormous gain. It's substantially better than Bitcoin's performance. So, you know, we got to put these things in perspective. This was incredible performance here for Tesla. And that's coming off my... and this was recent, by the way. This video wasn't too long ago. This was just the middle of August. So we're talking about literally 3 months for a 50% gain. You know, it's just not even close to Bitcoin. It's so much better. And so that went only on Twitter. If you want to get access to my shit posts and all that good stuff, then that's the very top link of every single YouTube video. And I think that platform is actually much more important to me than YouTube now. So you're going to be seeing a lot more of me on there and a lot more exclusive stuff on there because I got to give incentives for people to get on, obviously. That's kind of the... that's what they teach you these days, right? Give people tons of free value and they'll click your links. And that's what we're doing on Twitter. So check it out if you like. But with that, ladies and gents, I am going to be heading off. It was very good to stream today. Thank you all for tuning in. We're just under an hour today. And I'll see you all in the next one. Cheers.